Good afternoon to all of my many friends, also to my many enemies. Once again, this is your friend, brother, and humble servant, Roosevelt, back with another episode of Roosevelt Sounds Off. And I would like to thank everybody for tuning in to my channel, everybody who visits, all of you all who are subscribers, and all of you all who will subscribe. I thank you very much. And if you are not yet a subscriber to Roosevelt Sounds Off, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button along with the bell icon down in the lower right hand corner. This way you'll be notified anytime I upload new content or go live here on YouTube. Not going to be before you too long in this particular video, but I'm a little bit late on this story because this story took place on Wednesday in another crazy southern state that I've been talking about, for even the last few days, dealing with the whole Reynaldo Lewis case that took place in Marietta, Georgia. But this case that took place in Augusta, Georgia, and it involves a young lady named Brooke Johns, and she is a pregnant mother who had a 3-year-old in her car, and the 3-year-old, he had to go to the bathroom, and they pulled into a gas station, and she thought that she wouldn't make it to the toilet with him in time, so she let him pee out in the parking lot of the gas station. I'm going to play you the news clip of this, and I'm going to come right back with telling you of what I think about this whole thing, because at this point, she has been charged with disorderly conduct from, Richmond County in Augusta, Georgia. Stay tuned for the clip.
A pregnant mother being charged now with disorderly conduct after her 3-year-old urinated in a parking lot. Brooke Johns was driving in Augusta, Georgia when she tells WDRW her son had an emergency.
He's like, "Mama, I gotta pee, I gotta pee, I gotta pee." And I was like, "Well, hold on." He's like, "No, I gotta pee, I gotta really pee." And I was like, "Well, baby, there's nowhere for me to pull off. Mama, I'm about to pee my pants."
She says she's not supposed to lift him because she's pregnant, so she could not pick him up. And they were not going to make it inside of the gas station where they had stopped at. So he went in the parking lot, and that got the attention of a sheriff's deputy who then wrote her a disorderly conduct charge ticket. She faces up to 60 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. When asked for comment, the sheriff's office quoted an ordinance against any person who damages, befouls, or disturbs public property or the property of another so as to create a hazard, unhealthy, or physically offensive condition. I'm Ken Molestina for CBS Local News.
You saw that clip, and that falls under the category of fair use. Now, let's get more into this story and what I think of it. I think that this police deputy could have found some other kind of use for his time other than bothering a young mother just for allowing her son, her toddler, should I say, to pee in the parking lot of a gas station. Now, I was listening to another TV program yesterday, and, when they read off of the report, on this particular TV program, and read off what the deputy wrote, he made it sound extra bad. That I could see the child committing the act of urinating in public, and his genitals were exposed, and, we're talking about a 3-year-old. We're not talking about a 40-something-year-old grown man. And so she was charged with disorderly conduct. To me, this is just so stupid. This is how come I always tell you all. I tell you all over and over and over again, and I know I have people on here, whether you're subscribers, whether you're not, whatever it is, who constantly disagree with me when I say that we need to stop punishing small crimes. Because, especially in this case, because, the human body is a very amazing thing. It takes in food, it takes in water, and, and whenever food and water go into the circular system of the body, then, certain things bags, with food and water coming in, just got to come out. And I'm sorry to say that, whenever you got to go, you just got to go. And she was right. What if she did go into the public bathroom at the gas station and, somebody was in the public bathroom? If the child would have let loose on the gas station floor, then it would have been something, completely different. This, majoring in the minors really has to stop. It kind of reminds me a little bit. I dealt with this, a few years ago when it happened, but so what? You know me, I'll deal with it again. It's a family who I'm close to. Matter of fact, it's my godson's family. Because matter of fact, it's my godson's cousin. Now, of course, he was grown and everything at the time, but I mean, not only toddlers take in water and gotta let loose water. I mean, this happens with grown people too. He was 18, 19 years old and everything at the time. And, really, he's just, he kind of has a slight mental condition and everything too. So, you got to take all of this kind of stuff into effect. Also, that he was picking up his brother. And I guess on the way home, it's my godson's cousin. We call him Little Nate. He was picking up his little brother. And on the way home, he couldn't, he had to go. He couldn't wait till he got home. So he decided to go into an alley, or let's just say what he thought was an alley. Come to find out, it was a big driveway to what is pretty much, because I've seen the house, it's almost like a mini mansion on the west side of Chicago, right off of 15th and Kedzie, that belonged to an off-duty police officer named Officer Jackson. And so when he went into what he thought was this big alley, he decided to, just to unzip it and pull it out, but he didn't even have a chance to, because Officer Jackson comes running out of the house like a stupid, ignorant jackass that he is, and ends up beating little Nate, pistol whipping him. And all of the time, Officer Jackson's wife was on the porch begging him not to kill him. He was an off-duty Chicago police officer. And even though little Nate is the one who got beat up, he is the one in the end who gets charged with 3 felonies, including felony criminal trespass, as well as assault on a police officer and assault and battery on a peace officer. 3 felonies. And when he was in the hospital, I mean, this guy, he beat him so badly it caused his head to swell up and knocked out his teeth and all of that. And they did not, even though he was in the hospital, the Chicago Police Department was not allowing his family to see him, was not allowing his family to even talk to him. To me, it's something that's just so stupid, all because you had some kind of quarrel with somebody who's supposed to be an off-duty Chicago police officer. Are you kidding me? And how could he have been charged with assault and battery on a police officer when, according to witnesses who were there and saw and heard this whole thing, that Officer Jackson at any time never identified himself at all as being a Chicago police officer? So I'm just saying all of that just to say this. This is crazy. When I talked about this on my YouTube channel, when this happened, because, whenever I hear these kind of stories, especially with people who are close to me, and even friends. I started this channel so I could have a voice as to the wrongs and the ills of society and what is going on out here with the wicked, evil culture of policing in this country. But, you know, who am I? I'm nothing as a YouTuber on this particular side of the black sector of YouTube if I cannot use my platform to speak out against injustices with people that I know. Which I've known Little Nate ever since he's been small. But, you know, Officer Jackson was trying to say, allegedly, that, you know, Little Nate was trying to break into his house. And he even went as far as to try to kick in one of the basement doors to try to prove it. So he had to stay on house arrest for 9 months. In every single court hearing, I went just to see what was going to happen. And in the end, they ended up dropping this whole thing down to just misdemeanor trespass. They ended up dropping those other 2 charges. Why? Because it didn't happen. It didn't even exist. I just said all of that, or told this whole story, just to say this. That when I talked about this on my YouTube channel and even told other friends of mine like what was going on, the first thing that they said without even looking at what Officer Jackson did to him in beating him almost half senseless by pistol whipping him, the only thing everybody could say, well, the little nigga should have known better than to go around and pissing on people's houses. Don't he know that that's wrong? Don't he know that that's nasty? Don't he know he shouldn't have done that? That's all that everybody could focus on was this little bitty thing that Little Nate did and want to dismiss the bigger thing and the bigger crime that Officer Matthew Jackson committed. This is so stupid that in this country, we major so much in the minors. I find it to be so hypocritical how we could put down other nations like North Korea or China or Saudi Arabia or Iran. Why? Because we say that because of certain things that they do to their population under the color of law, that they're committing human rights violations against their own people, with completely negating and ignoring the fact that we in this country of the United States of America, which is supposed to be the land of the free, do the same thing. We need to stop our hypocrisy in this country and majoring in the minors. So getting back to this story of Brooke Johns, that, you know, she was charged with disorderly conduct, and now they, you know, are saying that she could face 60 days in jail or a $1,000 fine. That's just too much. And I hope that when her court date comes up, that these charges are dropped and dismissed like they're supposed to be. So with all of that being said, I'm going to end this video. If anybody liked this video, do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And tune in next time for another episode of Roosevelt Sounds Off. And as always, peace and blessings to all.